Rollin', rollin', rollin'. I'm thinking of, it's probably a Burt Bacharach song because this is most of what Dionne Warwick sang, but I'm thinking of trains and boats and planes. If you're too young to know Dionne Warwick, you really should get to know her. Get to know her. Not the Psychic Friends Network, although that also is kind of amusing and is a nice camp. But there's a much more enjoyable camp of her backlist, the 60s and 70s, Hal David, Burt Bacharach songs, amazing. So this is a combination of car and boat. The car ferry. Have you been on one? I've been on one more than once. I've been on different kinds of car ferries. I will say this. The most noteworthy of the car ferries I've been, well, there's so many stories I could tell, but the most noteworthy is the time that I went via automobile from Long Island, New York to New London, Connecticut, actually further up road to Stonington, the borough of Stonington, darling, via automobile. Well, how do you do that? Go look at a map and you can see, here I'll do it from your perspective, Long Island kind of juts out like that, or as my friend from Indiana used to say, it kind of jitneys on out into the Atlantic Ocean. And then you could come from Long Island through New York City and then up I-95. Or you could get on a ferry at Orient Point, one of the weirder towns I've ever been to, and this was decades ago. I don't know if it's still weird. It looked kind of like a deserted boardwalk. It had a kind of, this used to be a summer place that people went. I'm not knocking it. People might still go there for the summer. It might be a town that's inventing cures for illnesses in research laboratories. I don't know. People could be making beautiful batiks in, municipally funded artisanal lofts. I don't know. All I know is I was there in this weird early afternoon light and got on the ferry, and it was more or less an open ferry. You just were in your car on the ferry, watching things go by. And then from Orient Point, there are two islands, and I don't remember the order because it was a while ago, but one of them is Shelter Island, which I had heard about. So the ferry drops you off, and then you drive across Shelter Island, which was quite lovely. And I thought, this is here all along, and people go here, and it was this odd thing. And then you get on another ferry, and then another island, Block Island maybe? And I might have the order wrong, and it might not even be a Block Island. That could be, I don't know, on the Carolina coast. But eventually, you then get to a giant, industrial-sized, gray, big, other part of the world kind of car carrier that then takes you to New London, home of the U.S. Coast Guard. And then you get off of that. That one you don't get to spend your time in the car. And then you head up to Stonington, where your friends have this lovely old house in this old whaling town that hasn't whaled for a while. And they have a fire in the kitchen on purpose. Not a kitchen fire. And they have tea waiting for you, and they pour you tea out of a teapot that's designed to look like a cat's body with a cat head as the top, and the cat's paw is the spout. And you warm up with a nice cup of tea. And it was already worth it just to be on the ferries, but when you have that cup of tea poured from the cat's paw, you really know you've arrived.